I don't think I trust the government to put through any legislation and not think there are other hooks in it in relation to the Crown in this country. What do you make? The Prime Minister, just I'll digress for a moment. The Prime Minister at the last reshuffle dumped this idea of having a minister for a republic. I think after The Voice, he realised he was going to get nowhere, so he tidied that up. It's now gone. But you're still getting a republic by stealth almost. We've got the premiers of Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania, Queensland, South Australia and WA, all snubbing the King. They're not attending this welcome reception for him on Monday. They're all saying they've got other priorities. Now, a lot of people who watch this show, they think this is a terrible look. They say they don't want a republic, they like our current arrangements, and they expect the government we elect to treat them with respect.
Well, it does look like infantile republicanism, as was Mr. Minns when he turned off the Opera House lights which were going to go on at the time of the coronation. I suspect there's pressure within the Labour Party from the more deranged Republicans for something to be done to show that there's still life in something which is very much dead, that is, this politician's republic. Now, all of these premiers are extraordinarily privileged in the whole Commonwealth of Nations. No other state leaders at the state level, not the national level, have the right to give advice directly to the King, and we have that under the Australia Act. And they ought to respect that, and they ought to respect the fact that they are in allegiance to the Crown. Whether they like it or not, whether they have avoided actually swearing allegiance, legally, they are in allegiance to the Crown, and they should respect the system as it is. Argue for change if they will, but that's been going on so long. You know, it's 25 years.
What about this?
25 years since the Australian people affirmed their loyalty to the Crown in the referendum.
What do you make of the sore losers, the Australians for a Constitution, Australians ARM, Australian Republican Movement? They've got a campaign, they're calling this Charles's farewell tour. The bloke is battling through cancer treatment. We obviously wish His Majesty all the very best to recover and go on like his mother and serve us for a long time. But to call it the farewell tour, I think that's pretty rank.
Again, it's really infantile, and it's so rude, and it's so unnecessary. The King actually responded to their letter asking for an audience and pointed out what they should know, and I hope they know this. The question of our constitutional arrangements is for the King's ministers in Australia, and ultimately, if there's going to be change, it's for the Australian people, because fortunately our constitution, unlike that of Barbados, actually requires that the people agree to what the politicians want, and it eventually comes to the Australian people. The King has made that very clear. The Queen, the late Queen, made that very clear. Can't they understand that there's no advantage in being so petty to a man who has gone to great lengths to get here? He's obviously not well. He's suspended his treatment, which seems to be going on for a long time. He's going to be very tired from this, but he's made a point of coming here because he likes this country and he does his job. One thing they ought to also remember, we don't pay the King, the Queen, members of the royal family. We don't pay them any money. There's no golden handshakes. There's no special politician superannuation. They do this because they love their job and they do what we want them to do.
And they believe in public service, which I think, sadly, not enough politicians or senior leaders of whatever ilk do. Professor David Flint, thank you.